about the self and self-improvement. A few days ago, we had a really good conversation, and so good that I left him over with a lot of questions. So, Cesar?
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. So tell me about the self-improvement and why should we strive to self-improve on a daily basis?
Well, we are evolving and we should self improve. That's a necessity, just as brushing your teeth is a necessity, just as growing up is a necessity, self improvement is it's a priority, especially nowadays, because life is going so fast. There is so many things to do. We are bombarded with information. Because of the information, we have more things to do. There is no time to calm the nervous system. So we are overloaded. Our nervous system, it's overloaded. We cannot fall asleep at night, and our relationships, they suffer because of that. So self-improvement, one of the first thing you want to learn in self-improvement is communication style, is learning to listen to what has been said, not to listen as in you've done something wrong and people don't know who you are, because eventually who you are, this is where everything, it's important to you, and this is where self-improvement is going to go to the core of who you are, and that is complex.
Who we are is complex.
The self,
The self.
the self and the core of who everybody is complex. Yes, we think that who we are is our gender, our appearance, our role, our titles, all of that, and everything that is attributed to being human. But who in addition to that, there's just the in addition to who we are right there in our soul, in our spirit, that we we are beautiful. Everybody is created equal, yes, but behavior everybody's behavior is the difficulties and the problem.
Where did you learn about the self? Who
Oh,
introduced you to the concept, if you don't mind me asking?
Carl Jung.
Carl Jung. And how would you describe that to somebody who doesn't have any knowledge in psychology? Well, what is the self?
The self is composed of several pieces, several elements. What we know for the self to be the self, it is our roles and our titles, but that it's only about, if I could say like that, about 20% of who we are, who someone is.
20%?
Just 25%. So I have an image. Right now it will take a couple of clicks to get to it, but I have an image I created, a circle, where I divided it in five, but let's think of it in four, because 25% it's a little easier to digest. So our roles, our titles, our persona, being a mother, being a father, being an employer, being a owner, being a husband, a wife, a child, a parent, all of that, our roles, these roles make up only 25% of the self. The other 25% is what's known as the shadow, right? Right. I'm not going
That's
to talk about
another
the shadow, yeah. And
that's
then,
another concept that Jung talks about it, to incorporate your shadows,
yes, yes,
ideally.
yeah, we'll get into in depth about that. But then the other 25% is the anima animus, and that is your soul, the spirit, the spirit that came to inhabit this physical body. And then the other 25% is individuation, putting all of this together. And then when you have all of this joined together, like joined, not kind of sitting right there, like this, they have to be joined, intertwined, right? Um, then you've arrived at the self.
What are the chances of a modern individual to achieve individuation, in your opinion?
The younger ones have millennials, and after millennials, they are born with a higher level of consciousness. Their self is a bit much more integrated than my generation and the generation before me. So you will see that my generation, parents of my generation have, depending on the cultural context, but even those that grow up over here in the United States, which is emotionally intelligent, much more emotionally intelligent as compared to other cultures, they still have a difficulty um, having a smoother relationship with their children, because there's differences in values, beliefs, archetypes, what's possible, all of the newness, not just the newness of technology, but everything that's new, as opposed to when the parents went through life. So the millennials and after the millennials, they were born, it's in their DNA, a higher level of consciousness, a more evolved consciousness.
Well, that's quite a distinction. Well, tell me about what's the psychological journey of a Romanian coming from a different country into an environment like United States. What is that doing
This is
to
a
him?
this is a longer answer. This is a whole webinar. This is a whole workshop. 3 hours a day, a whole week. But let me answer this to you in the next segment. All right.
Looking forward.